Good evening.
Pay it forward. Pay it forward. Today, I request your attention. I, Justin Thicklin, as I try to convey to you why each and every one of us have a duty, an obligation, and a responsibility to pay it forward. Yes, we are indebted to our forefathers and pioneers that blazed the trail that led us to the well of freedom, education, and opportunities that was once upon a time just a dream. Attention! We are indebted to Medgar Evers, the civil rights activist who fought and had wonderful courage and stood up against segregation in Mississippi. Even after the University of Mississippi denied and rejected his application to law school there, and was later on murdered in his own front yard by a white supremacy group. Attention! We are indebted to Rosa Parks, who stood up, who refused to give up her seat on the city transportation bus in Montgomery, Alabama on her way from work. And sitting down, she stood up for her rights and stood against racial prejudice and discrimination. Her actions can be summed up in the song, I shall not be moved.
Yes.
Attention! We are indebted to Jimmy Lee Jackson, who was killed in Marion, Alabama in February 1965, simply because he was amongst a group that protested against unjust practices that prevented blacks from voting. His unjust murder brought even more attention to the bloody Sunday march that was from Selma to Montgomery, where marchers were beaten to the inches of their lives with billy clubs and hosed down with hoses. Attention!
That's right.
We are indebted to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., the drum major for justice, the Nobel Peace Prize winner, the great orator who stood on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial and delivered his most I have a dream speech. Dr. King's speech outlined his vision of the future as it related to racial harmony, freedom, equality, and education. He spoke a word into the consciousness of America that is reverberating in our minds 50 years later. Now, I believe I have your attention. Now it's time to move forward. Forward! We won't stop until the disparity of the African-American male ratio of incarceration and education is diminished. We must choose education over incarceration.
Yes.
Remembering the words of Dr. King, who once said, nothing in the world is more dangerous than sincere ignorance and conscientious stupidity. He later added on and said, intelligence plus character. That is the goal of true education.
Yes.
Forward. Pay it forward by opening our minds and pulling up our pants from below our behind.
Come on.
Remember the words of Dr. King, who once said, darkness cannot drive out darkness. No. Only light can do that. Yeah. Right. Hate cannot drive out hate. No. Only love can do that. Yeah.
Come on.
Forward. Pay it forward. By teaching and leading by examples in unity. Remember the words of Dr. King, who once said, we must all live together as brothers and sisters, or perish together as fools. He later on added and said, I decided to stick to love. Hate's too big of a burden to bear.
Come on, come on.
Forward. Pay it forward. When the haters are coming against you and life seems so overwhelming. Remembering the words of Dr. King, who once said, the ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in times of comfort and convenience, but where he stands in times of challenge and controversy.
Yes.
Forward. Pay it forward by tapping into your greatness and serving humanity. Remembering the words of Dr. King, who once said, everybody can be great because anybody can serve. You don't have to have a college degree to serve. You don't have to make your bird agree with the subject to serve. concern.
Come on, come on, come
All
on.
you need is a heart full of grace and a soul generated by love. Forward. Pay it forward. But stop making excuses. By staying determined. Remember the words of Dr. King, who once said, if you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But